What's up guys, it's Underdog MLB, and today I've got the third and final installment of my MLB The Show 20 Legends wish list. The last two videos I made were about the lower and mid-tier legends that I'm hoping to see in next year's game, which is players that could get a 90 to 94 overall card or a 95 to 98 overall card respectively. Today, however, is probably going to be the most exciting video, especially for hardcore MLB The Show players, because these are going to be the players that are in the mix to make many people's teams. San Diego Studios has already released their first gameplay trailer this past week, where they revealed 5 new legends that are going to be in next year's game, including Gary Sheffield, who was on my mid-tier list last time, so that's pretty exciting to see. They also revealed David Ortiz and Mariano Rivera, among others. So now is as good a time as ever to finish off this mini-series with my 99 overall legend wish list. The last two videos, we've started out with a family member of a current MLB player, and this video is going to be no different, as the first legend today is Carl Yastrzemski, grandfather of Giants outfielder Mike Yastrzemski. Family member combos are always fun to use on a team in Diamond Dynasty, as it's really the only mode in any baseball game that I know of that you can have father and son, or in this case grandfather and grandson, playing on the same team. Yastrzemski was one of the better all-around hitters this game has ever seen. He eclipsed 40 homers 3 times, hit 306 times, had a 1,000 OPS twice, and was named to the American League All-Star team an incredible 15 times in a row. Yaz had an all-time 1967 where he hit 326 with 44 home runs, 121 RBIs, and a 1,040 OPS, won a Gold Glove, and took home the MVP. Yaz won 7 career Gold Gloves, so should have good fielding, and stole 23 bags in 1970, so also should get decent speed. Yaz should also rate high in vision, which is a stat in MLB The Show that takes into account someone's strikeout and walk rates. He never struck out more than 100 times in a season, and is 6th all-time in walks. Obviously, like everyone in this video, Yaz will get a 99 overall, and will be one of the most feared lefty bats in the game. Greg Maddux was a part of one of the best pitching trios in baseball history, with Smoltz and Glavine with the Braves in the 90s. Any of these guys would be exciting to see in the game, but Maddux was the superior of the three. Maddux was a complete workhorse, throwing over 5,000 innings in his career. He was a master at getting weak contact, which only resulted in a 6.1 career strikeouts per 9 rate, which is pretty low. However, I wouldn't be surprised if he had the best control stats in the entire game, as he led the league in walk per 9 rates 9 times. From 1992 to 1998, Maddux led the league in ERA 4 times, a 190 total ERA plus, an 0.97 combined whip, a top 5 Cy Young finish every year, and 4 consecutive Cy Young awards. Not that it really matters for pitchers, but Maddux should also have great fielding, as he won an insane 18 Gold Glove awards. If the meta goes back to what it was in MLB The Show 18, where off-speed was king, Maddux might be the best starting pitcher in the game. Imagine being the one guy who didn't vote for Derek Jeter to be in the Hall of Fame. Wouldn't be surprised if he's gotten death threats from crazy Yankees fans. Anyways, Jeter is one of the newest Hall of Famers, along with Larry Walker, and will be really exciting to see in the show 20. Jeter was one of the best pure contact hitters in baseball history, as he's 6th all-time in hits. He wasn't a great power hitter, topping out at 24 home runs, but was able to keep his OPS decently high, finishing with a 115 OPS plus in his career. Jeter was a great postseason player, which should give him a great clutch attribute, and good speed with over 300 career stolen bases. He won 5 career Gold Gloves, although more advanced metrics have revealed that Jeter wasn't as great a fielder as people thought. If Jeter was in the show 20, he would definitely be one of the top 3 shortstops in the game. Jim Thome was one of the best pure power hitters in baseball history, ranking 8th all-time with 612 homers. He had lots of walks, but also lots of strikeouts, which combined with his home runs made him one of the first 3 true outcomes hitters. Earlier in his career, Thome was actually a decent contact hitter, which you wouldn't expect from someone with so many homers. He had 6 different seasons with a 1,000 OPS, including his monster 2002 season, where he had 52 homers, 118 RBIs, and a 197 OPS plus. The one downside to Thome is that he's basically a one-dimensional player. He was a great hitter but had no speed and no defense. But if the game is anything like it was this year, defense doesn't really matter at all at the first base position. For someone who is looking for a lefty equivalent of Frank Thomas, Thome would be the perfect card to add. Mordecai Three-Finger Brown is one of my favorite players of all time, partly because he was one of the key contributors to the Cubs' first 2 World Series titles, and partly because how successful he was able to be in the MLB with literally 3 fingers on his pitching hand. Brown had a ridiculous 1.04 ERA in 1906 and had 3 individual seasons that rank in the top 60 all-time in FIP. His career whip is 1.07, which is 12th in baseball history, and as I said earlier, Brown had only 3 fingers, which allowed him to throw a really nasty curveball. If that pitch was able to be replicated in the game, he would be a very dominant card. Three-Finger is probably the number 1 guy on this list that I personally would like to see in next year's game, but given how long ago he played, the likelihood that SDS would get his rights is pretty low. Hank Aaron may be the best model of consistency in MLB history. He never hit more than 45 homers in a season, but is the all-time home run king. At least he was until steroids came along. He holds the all-time records for RBIs and total bases, and has a career 155 OPS plus. Despite being one of the greatest power hitters ever, Aaron was a true 5-tool player. He stole 31 bases in 1963 and also won 3 career Gold Gloves. Aaron is best known for playing the outfield, but he also spent some time at first and second base, so versatility should help his card as well. Say what you will about WAR, but Aaron finished his career with a 143 B WAR, which is 7th all time. With the great skill set Aaron had, he might end up being one of the best cards in the entire game. Mel Ott is someone that I think not a lot of people have thought about for next year's game, given how long ago he played. I really think that he would be a great card to use, as he may be one of the best hitters of his era. Ott's career stats were very impressive, with 511 home runs, a 304 batting average, a 155 OPS plus, and almost twice as many walks as strikeouts, which would give him very impressive vision in the show. He had a ridiculous 7 individual seasons with a 1000 OPS, and received MVP votes in 13 different seasons. The one negative to Ott is his defense, as more advanced metrics show him being a negative defensive player, but his ability to play the outfield and third base is going to help his card, as versatility is always a plus. I would be very excited to see a Mel Ott card in MLB The Show 20 as one of the best bats in the game. Tris Speaker is another pretty old player that I would like to see in the Show 20. Speaker was a contact king, finishing his career with a 345 average, and was the second player to reach 3,500 base hits. His MVP 1912 season featured a 383 batting average, 52 stolen bases, and a 189 OPS plus despite only hitting 10 home runs. This last point is one of the most interesting parts about Speaker's career, as he finished his career with a 157 OPS plus, higher than Hank Aaron, while totaling just 117 career home runs. His high contact rate, combined with his elite ability to get extra base hits, allowed him to put up stellar overall hitting numbers. Speaking of extra base hits, Speaker holds the all-time record with 792 doubles. Speaker was also a mildly above average fielder, which should help make him one of the best contact hitters in MLB The Show. The story of Sandy Koufax is one of baseball's biggest what-ifs. Koufax is regarded as one of the best pitchers in baseball history, despite retiring at age 30 with chronic arthritis. At the time Koufax retired, he was fresh off 2 straight Cy Young awards, yet he thought it was too risky to continue to pitch with his arthritis. He later said, quote, "In those days there was no surgery. The wisdom was if you went in there, it would only make things worse and your career would be over anyway. Now you go in, fix it, and you're okay for next spring." What Koufax was able to accomplish in his 12-year career was incredible. Imagine what he could have done if he kept playing for another 10 years. Oh well. From 1961 to 66, Koufax not only won 3 Cy Young Awards, but received MVP votes every year, which as a pitcher is an incredible feat, and he won MVP in 1963. Combined from 62 to 66, Koufax had a 195 ERA, a 2 FIP, an 0.93 WHIP, and a 1.67 ERA+. He led the league in strikeouts per 9 6 times and racked up 382 Ks in 65, which at that time was a modern era record. He would without a doubt be the best left-handed starter in the game. That is, unless this next and final legend has anything to say about it. Randy Johnson was without a doubt the best lefty starter of his era. He was a strikeout machine, leading the league in strikeout per 9 rates 9 times and finishing with 4,875 career Ks. From 1995 to 2004, Johnson combined for a 2.70 ERA, a 1.71 ERA+, a 1.06 WHIP, a 2.61 FIP, and a 12.0 strikeouts per 9 rate. Johnson also had great stamina, reaching 12 complete games in 1999. Johnson was a 5-time Cy Young Award winner, including 4 straight from 99 to 02, his age 35 to 38 seasons. He was great at limiting hits, but the one knock on him was his control. Johnson led the league in walks 3 times during his younger seasons. However, Johnson was still one of the best starters baseball has ever seen, and would be really fun to see in the show 20. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you missed parts 1 and 2, definitely make sure to watch them. They'll be in the top right hand corner. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video and are excited for MLB The Show 20. And make sure to leave a comment of what legend you would most like to see in this upcoming game. And also subscribe if you're new to the channel. I've got MLB The Show content as well as IRL baseball content. So make sure to stay tuned for that. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.